Alright, hey everybody, I'm Noelle, and I'm going to spend the next 8 minutes telling you about my summer project, my garden office. Now, this is a new trend popping up. People are turning these tiny living spaces into craft rooms, man caves, even backyard bars. And I hope that you find this interesting and might be inspired to do something like it yourself. So, a little bit of background. In 2013, we bought a small house in Allen, Texas. It was a fixer-upper, but we got into the zip code that really mattered. It was 1,100 square feet, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and we spent a good majority of that first year or two fixing it up. We had our master bedroom, bedroom for our then 5-year-old daughter, and an office. My wife and I were both in school and working full-time, and we needed a place to work. Here I am in the back working on our deck, and behind me there you can see there's a rickety old green building, and in that building I think the previous owners used it as a greenhouse, and it was pretty dirty, so we cleaned it up a little bit and we decided to gift it to our daughter and sell it to her like it was a playhouse. So we realized after a while that she didn't use it very much when the weather was hot or cold, and then in the spring and fall we had alternating battles with wasps and spiders, so she basically condemned it and said it was creepy, so she didn't want to use it. In 2015 we found out that our family was growing. We knew this little guy was going to be due in early December, and that meant that our home office was going to have to be torn down and turned into a nursery. So we were sitting on the back deck with our neighbors having a beer, and Aaron, who's a construction guy, he said, "Why don't you renovate that old green building?" And we thought that was a fantastic idea. We'd put some new walls up, some insulation, and turn it into a workable space. So the old greenhouse shack, creepy building, was going to get a makeover. That's Aaron there with the beard and my wife Addie starting demo. Well, we started to get into it, and we were going to renovate this existing building, but as we were doing demo we realized that it was in worse shape than we thought, and the foundation was bad, so we ended up taking it all the way down to the dirt. And we got some graph paper, drew out a 12 by 16 building, 198 square feet, and designed our perfect building. So there we are, putting footers in and building the subfloor, and we were off to the races to make our building. We started the project in August in Texas, and that's my dad right there in need of some electrolytes. And at this point I'm 5 months pregnant, and no one will let me do anything. They won't let me lift things. I've been demoted to caterer and photographer. So I'm supervising all the work, and as long as I kept them fed and the Yeti full of cold drinks, that was my job. Here are the walls going up. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see my baby bump there growing. We pulled electrical from the house. We pulled it from the main panel and installed a sub panel in this little building. We put 2 outlets on every wall. We had a conduit for data. We wired for can lights, and we put a motion detector floodlight out on the front of it. And we actually consulted with pros on this and make sure that everything was up to code. Here we are, roofing, wrapping, siding, and trim. And at this point we're now into October, and the days are getting shorter and colder. So you can see in the pictures we're starting to wear long sleeves at this point. We've got some cool things going into this building. We decided to use a keypad entry so our daughter can get in and out of it with a 4-digit code, and I can too, and so that way we wouldn't have to keep up with keys. We also put in these LED tilt can lights. The ceiling was vaulted, so it was important that we could have can lights that we could aim where we wanted to. And Addie and Aaron installed all the insulation. That's my buddy Greg helping with drywall, and we did trim, texture, and paint. And now at this point we're into November. We spent about 20% of the budget of the entire building on this heating and air conditioning unit. My dad is a professional HVAC guy from his whole career. He just retired, and he said this is what he would buy if it were up to him. So we took his word for it, and we ponied up the money, and we got this badass thing, and it's awesome. The compressor unit is right out back, and the air handler we installed up near the ceiling, and it's got a remote control, and it works like a charm. We needed to have internet out there, so I had AT&T come out to the house to pull data over to the building, and the young man that came told me that it was going to cost a few $100s for them to do that, and he said, you know, for about $30 you can get something called a Wi-Fi repeater, and I had never heard of it. But the way it works is you plug this little gadget in somewhere where your Wi-Fi signal is, and it takes that signal and then it repeats it back out as if that were the new epicenter. So it makes it reach further out. And this is what it looks like. It plugs into a regular outlet, and in about 10 minutes I had this thing up and running, and so I took the $30 gamble and it paid off great. I get full bars all the way to the back corner of the building. So this is me 9 months pregnant laying laminate floor with my mom, and we are ready for move-in at this point. And then 4 days later, this little guy showed up. And that is Lachlan Mills Coppage Faille. There he is. And he's my precious baby boy. The nursery turned out pretty great too, but I would need another 8 minutes for that. But here's the final product. That's what the inside looks like. And there's the outside. And it's right off our back deck. And I have to say, on mornings that I work here, my commute is pretty great. Thank you very much.